Hello. First of all, please accept my apologies. This comment was left on May 23rd, and it is now June 16th. Meant to get to it, and things got lost in the sauce, but here we are. So the comment says, what do you think about Gardasil lawsuit? My boys are almost the age to get it, and now I'm debating. Well, if you see the video that this comment was left under, you know that there's not really much of a debate with me. I recommend the HPV vaccine to anybody who's eligible, and for your kids as well. However, this does bring up a valid point and a broader point, which is about vaccines and lawsuits. Now, vaccine manufacturers have had lawsuits brought against them for decades, and especially in the 1980s, there were so many frivolous lawsuits brought up that vaccine manufacturers started to wonder if it was worth the money to create a public health measure that didn't actually bring them that much income. So to keep this public health measure going, because it was so successful at reducing so many preventable diseases, we had to find some sort of compromise. And that resulted in the National Childhood Vaccine Injury Act of 1986. This created the Vaccine Injury Compensation Program, which is a no-fault program through the Department of Health and Human Services, where claims are submitted through court, and the HHS reviews these claims and pays out funds to compensate if you have a medically attributable adverse event to the vaccines. Because we know that those do happen, just not quite in the numbers that people claim. If you look at the Vaccine Adverse Events Reporting System, or VAERS, people will cite that as look how many adverse events are attributed to vaccines. But if you look at that, there's a lot of claims that are made, because anybody can submit a claim, that aren't attributable because they aren't biologically plausible from the vaccines. Now, if there is a signal there, meaning there's multiple reports of an adverse event coming from a single vaccine or a certain type of vaccine among a certain group or in larger numbers, then those can be investigated. And any deaths are also investigated. And thankfully, more often than not, they're found to not be attributable to vaccines. If there is an adverse event found, such as when the J&J COVID vaccines were found to potentially cause blood clots, however rare that was, and it was pretty rare, then a warning is placed, and sometimes the vaccine is either recalled or held, and it's further investigated, more trials are conducted. So it's actually pretty well monitored, and we are pretty vigilant about it, despite claims to the contrary. This is all to say that even though there are some lawsuits out there, they are thankfully outweighed by the amount of lives that we have saved and diseases that we have prevented with the vaccines, including the HPV vaccine. So I still recommend getting it.